All right, ladies and gentlemen, instant reaction to the Bills and Dolphins game tonight on Thursday Night Football. Obviously, we have to start it out with the unfortunate play that happened. Tua Tagovailoa, he got hit. He got hit and he got another concussion. I think this is his fourth or fifth head injury in the NFL. He needs to retire. That's the first thing I'm going to say. That's my first reaction to the game. Tua needs to retire for his own sake, for his own good, for his family, for his friends. And most importantly, just for his life, for his brain health. Tua undoubtedly needs to be forced into retirement. He should never take another snap of football ever again. We don't want to see what happens after that happens again, if that ever would happen. You know, we don't want to see a sixth concussion and then see Tua in an ambulance. And who knows what would happen after that. 5 concussions, 4 concussions, whatever it is already is way too scary, way too risky to ever consider playing football again. In my opinion, I think he should be forced out of retirement. I don't think that's too harsh at all. I think that should be protocol. Like, it's so sad to see. If you guys didn't see my reaction, I did post it. I was mortified. I was freaking terrified for him. I didn't know how to react. I'm still just like I turned off the game. It was in the 14 minutes of the fourth quarter I started filming this. It's just, the game's over. I had no energy to react to the game anymore. You hate to see that for for Tua and for the Dolphins. And just seeing Mike McDaniel's face when that happened, I know his heart sank. The Dolphins, they didn't look good in this game, but they have so much talent. And we'll get into that now. We're going to go over my notes for the game, but I just want to get that out of the way. Those are my thoughts on Tua. Prayers to him and his family and the Dolphins. Hopefully he can recover in a good way. And I don't want to see him on a football field again for his own sake. Now let's get into the notes and the real reaction to the football game. I'm not going to critique Tua in the notes because obviously I don't know if he'll ever play football again. I written down the interceptions. They were bad, but hey, it absolutely does not matter at this point. I did have it's going to be a high-scoring game right off the bat. When it was 7-7, I knew it was going to be a high-scoring game. I thought the Dolphins would bounce right back. And unfortunately, the Bills just hammered it down their throat. Drive after drive after drive. I did have on here as well, I had no idea Jeff Wilson was still in the Dolphins. Shout out Jeff Wilson, dude. Love to see him still in the league. The Dolphins have they have 4 running backs, but 2 of them are 31 years old and 32 years old. I think Jeff is 31 and Raheem Mostert's 32. That is crazy that they have 2 of the oldest running backs that are still active in the league on their roster. That's insane. James Cook is a dog. He's just a dog. He can run it every single play. No doubt about it. Never runs out of energy. Always runs hard. And he had 2 really good touchdowns tonight. That 40-yard run, I was so hyped because he's on my fantasy team. Shout out James Cook. They just kept feeding the ball. The Dolphins' defensive line could not stop the run whatsoever. Could not stop James Cook. And in the Bills' defense, that's what we need to talk about in this game, to be honest with you. The Dolphins' whole thing is their wide receivers separating, creating separation. But the Bills' secondary really stepped up tonight. Despite their injuries, they locked down Hill, Waddle. And then on top of that, Von Miller constantly putting pressure. The other guy, Ed Oliver, constantly putting pressure on Tua. And he just could not get a throw off in time, in a good throw, set his feet or nothing. He was rushed. That's why the interceptions happened. Like, this defensive line, this defense for the Bills is insane. And shout out to Sean McDermott. I know he hasn't done much in the playoffs, but he's gotten them to the playoffs, and they've won their division for years in a row now. And he's a proven coach. Sean McDermott is undoubtedly he's a coach that's proved it. I think he's a top 10 coach in the league. And shout out to him. And on the Dolphins side of things, at what point is it McDaniel's fault for the timeout management? I thought was not the best at the end of the second half, or at the end of the first half. And I mean, at what point are we going to put the blame on the coach and stop putting him at this tier where we have him as a top 6, 7, 8 coach in the league? At what point is it his fault? I don't know. I'm just asking you guys. But about the Dolphins team, obviously now with Tua out, it's going to be hard to recover from this and push forward and be as good as they were projected to be this year. But they have so much gosh darn talent. I mean, their offensive line is struggling, and their defensive line isn't the best either. They're not getting the best pass rush, but that talent on that team, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Jonnu Smith, Devon Achane, they have 4 running backs. Raheem Mostert. I mean, the amount of talent on that team is absolutely insane. They have Jalen Ramsey. I hate seeing Tua get injured because this team could have made a run this year if they could play in the cold and everything. That was down the line. But I knew they were going to have a crazy regular season. And, of course, the injury happens. But that's pretty much my thoughts on the game. The Bills' defense is just so damn good. The Bills are just simply better. Whether it's they're coached better, they have a better defense, or this, that, and the other. Like, the Bills are simply better, and there's no other way to put it. They'd absolutely destroy the Dolphins. They are now 12-2 against the Dolphins in the last 5 years, I think, which is insane. Shout out Josh Allen, solid game. He had some unbelievable passes in this game that I just thought were freaking awesome. Yeah, that's my thoughts on the game. It was a fun game in the first half, sort of. It was exciting. I had a lot of clips from this game, which I thought was really fun to do. But the second half, it's just so unfortunate what happened, and my energy was just gone. I could not react to that. I'm just so scared not for the Dolphins, for Tua's life. I mean, my cousin, he had so many concussions in soccer and was forced into retirement in college. Like, I hate it. And it's affected my cousin for the rest of his life. I don't like to see that, and it just scares me to death that happened today. Prayers to Tua and his family, and shout out the Bills. They played one heck of a game. They're going to be scary this season. I think they have a chance to make a run at the Super Bowl this season, no doubt about it. Shakir's a real wide receiver. I didn't see Keon Coleman tonight. Was he listed out? I don't know if that was. I didn't see the injury report or anything, but yeah, Bills were just simply a better team, and that's why they won this game. That's all I have for today. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe, turn on post notifications, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out.